I would like to thank a lot for the nice invitation and also the invitation to be here for presenting Alibaba Group and Alibaba Cloud. And also thanks for the pressure for the introduction about the last one who was ever. And I heard about what my previous speaker, Pasha, was talking about, sorry for being late. And I have to say sorry again, I'm the last obstacle between you at the moment to your dinner and drink afterward. So I'm gonna try my best to make the content a bit more interesting with you. Yeah, so let's get started. So my name is Huang, and running the solution architect team for Alibaba in the DACH region, covers also the Central European regions plus Russia. So there's large territory here, but we are pretty much, we call ourselves the startup on the giant shoulder of Alibaba Group. So we're here voicing out. Nice to meet you here. So maybe before I get started with it's interesting when I was checking about the introduction part and about the concept of Double 11. I'd like to know who heard about Double 11 before, or the single day. Good, 5%, pretty good. And who knows the history of Double 11? Let's get started. Gentlemen, thanks for raising the hand for halfway. So I'd like to give you a video introductions, which saved a lot of words, to tell you what is the Double 11, which is the largest sales event festival for Alibaba Group. And when you're watching that video, please bear in mind Alibaba Cloud is a technical enablement infrastructure solutions running for everything for Alibaba Group.
In 2009, e-commerce in China was not quite as popular as it is today. Alibaba's Daniel Zhang wanted to draw consumers to the company's new shopping site, Tmall, with some sort of marketing event like Black Friday in the United States. He settled on a little-known holiday in China called Singles' Day, held each year on November 11th.
If people are still single, we can offer them good choice and they can enjoy the online shopping, then they will not feel alone. So that's our style of thinking of November 11.
Only these 27 brands participated in Alibaba's first Singles' Day, but consumers responded and the company knew it was onto something. 2 years later, the holiday was so successful that it was pushing Alibaba's infrastructure to the brink. The company had never dealt with such a huge spike in traffic, orders, and payments. But Alibaba pulled it off, and it forced the company to strengthen its cloud computing systems. But what about delivering all of those packages? In 2013, 156 million packages were generated in just one shopping day. So Alibaba invested in TinyOut Smart Logistics, a central platform to link a network of logistics partners that allowed the company to meet this huge demand efficiently. As China went mobile first, Alibaba innovated new online shopping experiences for 11/11, like distributing red packet coupons. Brands started to understand just how important 11/11 was, and not just for sales, but for consumer engagement too. In China, 11/11 became like the Olympics or the Super Bowl, a must-do event for marketers. Brands pulled out all the stops to wow Chinese consumers. In 2015, Tmall rebranded Singles' Day to the 11/11 Global Shopping Festival, an acknowledgement that this had grown much larger than China's Singles and was becoming a global phenomenon.
And I never think this is the day for selling products. This is the day we exchange ideas. This is the day we exchange innovation, invention, and creation.
That year, Alibaba brought the world to China, with a special focus on bringing high-quality imported products to Chinese consumers. That same year, a spectacular countdown to 11/11 gala broadcast on TV and online, starting a new tradition for the festival. Viewers could watch and play along for discounts and exclusive offers. Alibaba continued to innovate to blur the lines between entertainment and shopping to support brands and build consumer excitement. In 2016, the See Now Buy Now fashion show streamed to millions of viewers online, allowing them to buy the fashions coming down the runway in real time. In 2017, Alibaba introduced new retail experiences, merging online and offline retail activities in over 100,000 smart stores and augmented reality-based games to drive foot traffic to offline stores. In just 10 years, Alibaba had transformed 1111 from this to this. So what will 2018 have in store? This year's mega event will be the largest ever in terms of scale and reach, comprising the entire Alibaba ecosystem. 180,000 brands will participate, both online and off, in categories ranging from travel booking to entertainment to local services. Even after 10 years of explosive growth and leading retail innovations, Alibaba says it's just the beginning.
This video was recorded before, I think around October of 2018, which is before last, which is just happened, Double 11 in 2018. The last number which had a flash from the screen is about 1,600. That is that means 160 billion of Chinese yuan, roughly about 23, 24 US dollar of GVM, which the Double 11 has made in one single day, 24 hours. So I think you get the picture, single day of Double 11 is a bit like Cyber Day, Black Friday, only difference pure online, the difference like festival, the difference like very interactive, the difference like it get not only the sales things running, but everything behind logistics, payment things, credit things all follow afterward. So our video was shot with the 23 billion US dollar in 2017. This is the number we had made in last year, 5 months ago, 4 months ago. So that's roughly about 32 billion of US dollar has been made in 24 hours. This is not money for Alibaba Group. This is GVM. This is the money floating from our platform, from our buyers to the sellers, on top of the platform, which means successful for the buyers and the sellers together, and we are the platform supporting on them. So on the other side, if you think about technology, about huge amount of package we have to deliver, about huge infrastructures, which are supporting on the clicking on the events, get the sales things running on. For instance, my wife, she always wait right before the events get started, then click the mouse crazily to make sure all the things she would like have it in her, delivery on the road. And since everyone's doing the same, think about the pressure, the whole system is getting at the first 1 hour, at the first half an hour, at the first 5 minutes, right? That's the host by Alibaba Cloud, which I'm gonna give more detailed description on this one. So, although there are a lot of things running on there, I'm gonna show about the general picture of the group. The whole story is starting from Jack Ma with all the other 16 founders roughly 20 years ago. I do recall the first time we were in the very, very special time we had the annual meeting in Hangzhou. I had a quarter, beautiful city, 7 million people there. That year is our 18 years birthday for the group, which means we messed up things before, we keep messing up before, but now as adults, you have to take the responsibilities, not only to think about, growing yourself, but also sharing and giving back. And this is how the system is being growing. Although there are a lot of business that's being involved, this is only very, very simple philosophy we have been incorporating through all the businesses and the way we're doing business together. It's only to make it easy to do business anywhere. So you will see everything afterward are based on this. So from this very specific philosophy, if you have an overview about Alibaba Group nowadays, you will see we have a lot of commercial things. We're running B2B, which is originally in power when Jeff was taking the beer in US. He found there's no Chinese beer, so how to make beer selling easier from China to US. So B2B gets started. Then we have B2C, we have C2C. So this is original power of the group as a retail innovator there. and there are also a lot of things has been catching up quickly. We are also doing a lot of local assistance, local services. I never know whether you have heard about Hema supermarkets before, which is the way running with local supermarket owners to make this no-man managed supermarkets. Crazy ideas, very successful now in China. I can keep playing the video for hours here. So let's skip a bit on that part. Alipay, you probably already seen this beautiful ant already available in Frankfurt a lot of times, and also maybe in other cities already, where the payment systems plus the financial system running after the payment gateway. So which means if you leave your balance there, you're not only paying through your balance, you're also getting interest in daily approach, in a very user-friendly approach, jumping to the phase in daily approach. So Alipay has been also growing very quickly. We recently acquired world first in UK, huge amount of investment on that part. Cainiao is the magic power of how you deliver all the huge amount of package nowadays. There, we built up the Cainiao logistics platform together with other local logistics partners. The Alibaba, as one partner of the Cainiao, are dealing with only the data platform, which means we give the suggestion about where its best routing should be and what the other factors should be considered, whether the goods has been delivered, conditions, cooling systems, so on and so forth. So other partners who own the trucks and drivers, which we do not have a single truck or driver, can, based on data, to make their delivery quickly and efficiently. And also Alibaba is the BU after we have acquired Yahoo in China is doing a lot of digital marketing part, have very good reaching to the Chinese consumers, and all those kind of stuff, seeing about the computation going to be needed, the storage going to be needed, the infrastructure going to be needed, are running on top of Alibaba Cloud. So currently, I think there are about, all in all, I think there are 70% of all overload from the group are running on the cloud, including the very challenging W11 event. I think our goal is to, in the next 1 year, to move everything from Alibaba Group 100% on the cloud. So just to make the whole group on the cloud, which also putting us even more pressure on our own shoulder. But since we're supporting W11, I think that should be fine. A bit information about marketplace. We're according to Gartner's last year's report regarding public cloud, we're one of the 6 major players in the world. We're #1 in China, around 50% of market share. Worldwide, we are one of the 6 top players. The only, I think this, yeah, it's the only non-US players in the world. So there are a lot of investment and also technology has been invested on that part because it's crucial for the future part. I was checking around there, and there sometimes people ask me, oh, it's good to see you here. Yeah, we are here. We have a local office here in Frankfurt, in Munich, and we have also in-depth our cooperations with another German startup, investing a lot of money acquiring them. So now we also have office in Berlin. So data-wise, data center-wise, we have the Frankfurt region. It's our first region in Europe because it's our most priority market for the European markets. We also have the London region as well. So 2 data centers per region, which is crucial for us because that means a lot of compliance things. If you're looking at other data centers and regions in other part of the world, we have Malaysia, we have Singapore, and sometimes that planning are more like a strategic way of planning on the infrastructure footprint, because looking at Singapore, it's quite close to Malaysia, right? Cross river, drive crazy, like 30 minutes you can arrive that part. But since they were using quite different law on different regions, so that's why we want to build something totally different. The same purpose here for Frankfurt regions, because of GDP or because of C5, I can talk about that one later on. And yeah, we do have also, I mean, since we're originally growing from China, it's our home market, so that we have much more better footprint, including infrastructure, power, connectivity, network, whatsoever available in the Chinese markets. Most of our current customers, when they're pitching us like, okay, let's get some first things to do in China because it makes things faster, connectivity is always a key, so on and so forth. As I mentioned, I want to talk about a few words about compliance when compliance is crucial, is on top of security. I've been asking on the questions a lot, like, do you think GDPR is tough? Yes, GDPR of course is tough, but we are not alone on that part, right? Like Alibaba Cloud is the first vendor who are obtaining C5 with advanced version from BaFin. The first one putting so much effort to be compliant on that part. There are also other compliance on the way to satisfy requirements from German individual vertical industry. And C5 is tough. GDPR, we are in close cooperation with the European Union, but it's tough, but it's normal. I mean, if you're looking at the compliance in Singapore, you're looking at the compliance in China, I think now the world has going to these tendencies, and we need to respect on that part. That's why a lot of investment has been invested on that. Product has been rewritten, data centers have been deployed to be compliant with all the corners of compliance with our major interest on that part. I do not want to talk about the products here because we have too many, 180 products. Since from the introduction, if I talk about products, I probably can stand in here for 3 days. Then, yeah, that would be a bit, tough for me. But infrastructure-wise, we are supplying normal things: computation, storage, network. This is community, right? The things we're rolling out. We do have the advantage because of major players, but this is something we're ongoing. People are looking at us about other new fancy stuff. For instance, with our own applications, I mean, all the product and also innovation, AI things are coming from Alibaba Group experience. Make this one simple. So if you go to China, have traveling there, you probably see people are holding, you definitely will see people are holding phone everywhere. You'll see people are holding the phone, photographing another guy's, or not, especially girls' bag, which means he or she likes this one. So he photograph this one, he search from the image search, he get this one, he press the button, he smiles at the phone, because we detect her face or his face, stacked face, and then she make a smile. Then the dynamic movement of detection would be made as well. Payment will be done straightforwardly. Then things will be delivered to her home through China logistics. So when people are looking at that part, they say, I want this image search functionality. Because it has been proven so interesting in Alibaba e-commerce platform, raising our click-through ratio to 15%, I want to have it. I like this kind of the impression about how you manage the crazy delivery of the packages. Also, we don't have so many packages in the world, but one specific part, for instance, how you are using camera to monitoring the truck and goods in and out in a no-manner approach by only monitoring other objects. This one, I like it. I like this capability from Cainiao, and I want this one to be integrated with my own system. It's one example from one of the major German customers here. So we're doing the POC with them together, we're installing them together with their own vendors, giving the algorithms to see how this one can fit into their approach. So AI capability from Alibaba Group now are being leveraged through the cloud into partners. So know-how of us in verticals of retail, fintech, everything will be leveraged into our partners, so then they will be able to serve to their end customers. This is the approach which are going there. I don't have time to talk about too much, just give you some impressions about how we are doing things, which is all the typical products we are using by ourselves. CN, Global Network Solutions, seeing about everyone who making payment from Alipay here, and also on and so forth. We need global network connectivity, so we do have the Alibaba Global Backbone Network there, which means 150 milliseconds ping from Frankfurt to Shanghai without any package job. Without any package job. That means you can use a UDP or ping through it, you have the guaranteed ping through it, and you don't have to worry about, I have the capital investment on that part. I can put in, put down through the time. We are also having our anti-DDoS things, which we are pretty proud of this one, because every year we survive from our own Double 11. Think about during Double 11, how many attacks you're gonna get on our own. services. And thinking about our buyers from global, that means global distributed capabilities of preventing these DDoS attacks for all customers, which means we have tons of distributed scrubbing centers everywhere to clean the traffic, making sure we are not attacked down. This is now the infrastructure and technology we're also sharing with partners to enable their customers. OSS means object storage service, which is like binary storage, where you store your PDF files or videos. And once we have seen from all the problems, like we have too many petabytes, we have hundreds of petabytes docked there. How to search for something quickly? OSS select, which increase the speed a lot, which make our engineering happy. And then another question is like, especially we are doing a lot of e-commerce in China, we have found out eventually, what the best part of doing the AI or machine learning for your consumer understanding, behavior understanding. Where you get data from your logs. From all the logs you develop at home are dropping every day. Log this one, log that one, so if server goes down, I know what's going on there. You have terabytes, petabytes of the log, which you expect never to use it. Just put this one into code, save part, never touch this one. It's for backup purpose, but we have realized it's also great for learning customers' experience. The problem is how you leverage on this pair of the logs from the cold storage into heat, where you get behavior analytics out of this one without putting too much infrastructural solutions on this. That's why we're doing the data lake analytics, which will map 2 terabytes, 5 terabytes file into one table. You use SQL to search for it, you get it. And you pay only for the data you have been scanned for. We use this one internally a lot because this is our kickoff points for the magic of the retail understanding customers' behavior. Then AI seems to kick in. I'll give you a few examples about Airbnb. We've been working together to facilitate their business in China, giving them superior CN network, CDN network. So the response speed from their customer base in China are pretty much guaranteed. We have been helping the Air Asia a lot because they have very interesting problem. Like their online ticket systems allows someone to be logged in for 30 minutes, selecting for seats, which exposes a leak for the attackers in a very sophisticated way to say, I will block the session for 30 minutes, then I will book the seat, then I book all seats from this flight, and no other people, the real customers, can book the seat. Then I can resell the seat. Right? This kind of crime, but in a very sophisticated way, how to identify this malicious traffic and block it, and make their own system sustainable running. We work with them together by supplying the product and doing special algorithm for them, so they can get rid of their problems. We do have a lot of digitalizations for in China. We're doing part for manufacturing, cities, retail, finance, and other verticals. But as I mentioned, don't get me wrong, we know a bit on retail, but we are not domain expert on manufacturing, automotive. These things we don't know. We have tons of partners who are domain knowledge experts. They know exactly what you do. They are not just having the muscle to make their brain run enough as expected. We offer the muscle and the people who interconnect the muscle with their brain so they can run as fast as they want. So that's why we're putting a lot of concept into the so-called ET Brain, which is our AI project ID, which we have ET Brain for city, ET Brain for industry. It's pretty much a collection of best practice we have learned by ourselves, by implementations, and see whether although we cannot reuse the data, because they're all belonging to the customers and also the legals and also across different regions, it doesn't make sense anyway. Though the learning pattern, the algorithm we have already been proving being useful, but adjusting some algorithms, certain manners being interconnected with the existing systems probably can already resolve 95% of your existing problems. That experience we have been learned now, that's why we're putting to the project name called ET Brain. Well, some other people say it's ET because Jack Ma likes ET, so we picked up ET Brain for the project name, but eventually it means extreme technology. So giving you some examples about what we're doing with the one major wing machines manufacturers doing on. We are having thousands of wing machines everywhere. The problems like, when something went wrong, you never know what's going on there. You have to send people there, stop the productions, change things. It costs money. There are a lot of the operation cost. What we do there is getting connected with their sensors data there and running the machine learning predictive everything afterwards this one and predict which things will go wrong in the next 2 weeks. So you can get team there, get this one replaced before this one gets broken. You get this one predicted maintained, you save 90% of the potential cost. If something goes broken, you have to replace this afterward. For Trinio, Sonia is a kind of production line for the Sonium products, and they have suffered the problem because there's too many things they have to produce. So they have thousands of parameters from the production line. They don't know how to improve this one, because if you change the meter there, this one might go up, and you don't know which one is really decisive. We don't know either. We don't know from their product line which parameter makes sense compared to others. So we get our engineering team and also data scientists sitting with them together. They tell us which is making sense, and we kick off the machine and get them running in one night. We get evaluation result. After the next day, we get to the office. After weeks of running together, you get some optimized models, which eventually means mathematical problems. Why the machine is running on the mathematics, but resolve the problems. They, as domain knowledge, they do not have it. That's the muscle, not the brain. Combination them together, you make the value out of it. We also have a lot of cooperations with Shay Hanking as well, with big logos. And besides of Go China part, I'm only talking about some local cases we have been deliverable with the authorization I'm already getting, so I can talk about these ones. So not only in China, but also doing business together in Germany, in DACH. So this is the current efforts the team is putting on this one here. As you can see, we are touching on different topics, but we do not touch on the topic directly by ourselves. The manufacturing experience which we learned doesn't make sense for German manufacturing, for instance. The retail which we have preached good in China does not make sense for German markets, because customers' behavior is different, understanding of customers is different, and in China you have more kids playing on cell phone here in Germany it's not. So we are very much depending on partners to work with us together. So we supply the know-how, the running cycles of the machines, and the know-how of integration to resolve the problems the partner is having in their daily life. That will put a wrap up for my speech here. Sorry again. I think now we are good to go to the drink. And thanks a lot for your time and attention. Have a good night. Have a good evening.
Thank you.